They say you should learn something new every day. Like how you should only drink Jägermeister at 0 degrees Fahrenheit, ice cold. Like those frozen cavemen they find, which makes you wonder, what would a caveman think of Jägermeister? Well, if you served it warm, he'd probably throw it in your face, say, "Unga boonga," and storm off. And nobody wants that. So drink it cold or not at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold. Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume, imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S., White Plains, New York.
Nothing brings people together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, people aren't just watching, they're cheering together. This winter, everyone is all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
K-pop Demon Hunters Haja Boys Breakfast Meal and Huntrix Meal have just dropped at McDonald's. They're calling this a battle for the fans. What do you say to that, Rumi?
It's not a battle. So glad the Saja Boys could take breakfast and give our meal the rest of the day.
It is an honor to share.
No, it's our honor.
It is our larger honor.
No, really. Stop.
You can really feel the respect in this battle. Pick a meal to pick a side.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's while supplies last.
Start your day with Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal. The instant oatmeal ready to help you tackle whatever your day brings. Like wrangling your toddler into their car seat. That was fun. Coaching your 6th graders soccer team. Go girls! And carrying all the groceries in one trip. Whew. Try Quaker Protein Instant Oatmeal, granola, and bars. Great taste and a good source of protein. Quaker, bring out the good.
Welcome back, everyone, once again to the Skating Penguin Network. It is your host, Robbie, here again. And as always, I'm joined by Snail on the other side of the country out in Seattle. And we will get into a big Penguins game here in a little bit. But before we do, Snail, how was your weekend / how are things on this Monday out in Seattle as we start to wind up March here and get ready for April?
Weekend was solid, Robbie. Kind of a bummer game that happened there on Saturday, but
yeah,
that did not define my weekend. I had it kind of did, but it was a pretty mellow weekend. I actually, it's a bit chilly. It's nice, but it's chilly. It's actually going to drop down to 32 tonight. But the daytime, it looks beautiful outside. Like the buds on all the plants and trees are starting to come out. The birds are singing earlier and earlier every morning. It smells like playoff hockey right now. It's coming. I can smell it in the air. So yeah, all's good out here. How are things out east in Western PA?
Things are good. Kind of the same-ish weather as you guys kind of are experiencing. It gets a little chilly at night, but we are getting into a bit of a warm-up here these next few days. We're going to be consistently in the 60s and 70s pretty much through the weekend. Nice. And it looks like, for the most part, it's going to be sunny or maybe overcast, but maybe with a stray shower here or there. But I mean, overall solid weather to get the new month rolling here. And kind of like it's going to feel like spring, basically. Like you said, it's going to feel and smell like playoff hockey. That is for sure. And I will say that, the game on Saturday, a big-time bummer for the Penguins and the fans. But we talk about playoff hockey, and the Penguins took a massive step toward returning to playoff hockey this evening. And they're on Long Island, and we talk about the Penguins and the Islanders, how much it's a pain to play against them and how annoying they can be. And for a small portion of this game, it really felt like we were getting another one of those Penguin Islanders games on Long Island. The Penguins have trouble with the Islanders to begin with, and it feels like it's even worse when they're playing on Long Island. But tonight, they go down 3-1 Snell, and we'll start there.
Hold on. Before you get into it, I just got to say, today I left work early to make sure I was here for this. I told the customer, I was like, hey, didn't get as far as I maybe would have planned normally today. but I got to leave. I have an obligation, and I packed up at around 3:45, and I got home. I'm only working about 10 minutes away from my house, so I left work early, and I was like, this feels like a playoff game. That's what it feels like. The playoffs started for the Penguins.
Yeah, it did. Like, this is every game from here on out is a playoff game until they have that little X by their name and they can breathe a little bit. They are in a playoff dogfight, and there were years where the Penguins were at this point that, okay, maybe they weren't clinched, but they really just had a little tidy work. They were more of a Carolina situation. Let's put it like that. Not officially clinched, but in a very comfortable spot. Just got to take care of some tidy business. This team is not in that position. They have to fight for every point. They have to fight for every position. And at the beginning of tonight's game, the first period, no score. Then they go down 1-0, 2-0. They get one back and then immediately go down 3-1.
I was thinking about going back to work.
Yeah. I was getting ready for Kyle Dubas to be on the phone to Wilkes-Barre, get Sergei Murashov up there as soon as possible.
That Barzal goal, I thought was that the third goal?
No, the Shen goal was the third goal.
Okay, the second goal. That when I saw Barzal just tuck that so cleanly up into the left corner there, I don't know. I was deflated. It doesn't even really. I mean, talk about deflation. Like, I was like, oh boy, like, yeah, get Murashov. Can he actually get here by this middle of the second period? Maybe.
I mean, yeah, Shilov's was not good when these first three goals went in. Again, the first period was a tie game, but Shilov's did nothing. I was shocked that Shilov's was starting to begin with. I really thought in this game you need to go to the guy who's been there countless times before. Skinner, obviously inconsistent, but I just felt like you have to go to Skinner in this game. Give Shilov's Detroit back at home. You need to go your best lineup on the ice. And I was shocked when I saw Shilov's was getting the start and was very frustrated when they went down 3-1. And I thought, this is going to be just a nightmare game. This is not going according to plan. Rickard Rakell gets that goal to make it 3-2, shorthanded.
Beautiful goal.
Beautiful goal. First ever shorthanded goal. Rickard Rakell's been playing great hockey as well. And I just thought, like, man, if they can just get the next one.
Yeah.
And they not only got the next one, they got the next 6 after it was 3-2. And this was as thorough a whooping as the Penguins have put on the Islanders in my memory that I can think of. And the Penguins have played some bad Islanders teams. I can't just
and
remember.
Sid owns them outright too.
Yeah, he had another 2 points tonight. He is they are his most victimized team. Like, he's almost at over 1.5 points a game against them in his career. And I just thought, man, this is just a very annoying Islanders team. And the Penguins needed this so bad. And to go down 3-1 and to just completely flip that game on its head with a few goals. Credit the defense for shutting it down after giving up that third goal. Shilov's bounced back. And they put Ilya Sorokin has never given up 7 goals as an NHL goaltender until tonight. And the Penguins chased the guy that's probably going to be one of the Vezina finalists.
Oh, yeah.
They exploited what the Islanders are bad at, which is defending. And they just went out there and beat them in after 3-1. After 3-1, it's like the Penguins wanted to give themselves a challenge and just said, you know what, we're going to go down 3-1 and then we're just going to beat you until this game's over. And the final 30 minutes of this game was the Penguins just flattening the New York Islanders and taking out. I mean, this is just a massive, massive victory for the Penguins. It changes the entire outlook of the playoff picture. They are now at 90 points. Everything is right there for them now. And just a massive, massive victory that really can't be understated. Just what it means, not just for the standing, but for their entire psyche to go into that building and beat a team that just drives them insane.
Well, yeah, man. It was you hope that the Islanders are wounded a little bit after this. Like their Vezina caliber goaltender, like the guy that's, stopping pucks for them, got an 8 spot put on him. And I don't want to get too cocky here, but I mean that was belt to ass today.
It was.
It really was. And the Islanders, they do scare me because of how pesky they are. But something that showed up today that maybe I would be worried about in the past that I'm a little bit more, let's just say, confident in now is that the Penguins don't roll over and die. Like they have a roster that's constructed of capable bodies. Number one, we're not relying on, some people might, I'm not trying to throw a little flack on anyone here, but like we're not relying on Danton Heinen and Jeff Carter to get us back into the race here with when you're down a few goals. We've got, Ryan Shea is turning into a great two-way defender. He's not elite, probably at anything, but man, he's so good back there. That goal of his was sick.
Yeah.
Ricard, Raquel, and Russ, they do what they do. Anthony Mantha, I was looking to him when we were down. I was like, Anthony Mantha needs to use that big body of his and just get to the net. He's unreal at breakaways too. I don't know, like he's not.
Yeah. He has no fancy move, but he has one move, but it works every time.
It works every time, it seems. When he's in alone on a goalie, I feel like he's got to have some sort of, there's probably a stat out there, but every time he's a one-on-one with the goalie, I feel like he's raising his stick.
Yeah.
Like that Avery Hayes showed up big today, doing what he does. I think he has 22 goals in like 39 AHL games, which is a certified goal scorer in any league. And then he comes to the NHL. I think today was his 13th NHL game. It was his 12th for the 13th. He now has 3 NHL goals. Granted, he's not playing first line and getting first-time power play on this team, but Avery Hayes is a gritty little player, man, and he's perfectly fitted to play a team like the Islanders because he seems pretty fearless. I like what I saw out of him, but yeah, man, this team, when they get down a few goals, like they have the bodies and like the veteran mixed with the fresh legs and the youth to be able to come back in a game like this. Did I see them coming back and putting a beating on Ilya Sorokin? I did not, but I did say when they were down 3-1, it kind of felt like they were never going to score again, but it's like they're going to have their looks. You knew they're going to get their looks. And unfortunately, at the other end, it's a great goaltender. So if none went in, I mean, I was like, could it be another one of those games that they looked good, but nothing was going in the net for them potentially? But boy, what a game to come home from work early to and just ride that roller coaster. As what's his name, Phil Bork says, we're the Penguinis.
Yeah,
he always does that. We're the Penguinis, and whatever. We don't make anything. We make everything a little bit harder on ourselves. So.
Oh, I mean, they do make things very hard on themselves sometimes, and they find a way to dig themselves out of these holes. It seems like more times than not, and I don't know. I don't have a guess of how far this team goes or what they do if they make the playoffs or whatever. But it's going to take more than a gun to kill them. I mean, they're like you're going to need you're going to need some kind of laser rocket thing because this team just does not die.
You're going to need an Etsy witch.
Yeah, you're going to need multiple Etsy witches casting some kind of hexes on this team because they just do not die. I mean, they could have rolled up and been like, you know what, we play tomorrow night, another big game.
Not with Sid coming back.
But they just went out there today and just flipped the game on its head. Ricard Raquel scores that shorty, and then it was like a slot machine going off then. It just Ryan Shea with that absolute bomb, and then a minute later, Mantha scores the first of his 2, and then he scores another one, basically the same exact move on Sorokin. It's 5-3 in the blink of an eye. The period ends, and if you're an Islanders fan or an Islanders player, you had to be spinning at that point because you're up 3-1 on your home ice against a team that you have some kind of weird curse over, and you're all of a sudden down 2 goals. Your robot goalie looks human, and everything's going the Penguins' way. And then in the third period, you think you're going to come out, get a jump, and the Penguins just take everything away. And before you know it, it's 7-3. Avery Hayes and Ricard Raquel have 2 goals, and then Ilya Sorokin is skating to the bench for the rest of the night. Just a complete flatline of a hockey game. They bullied the Islanders' defense. Matthew Schaefer was a non-factor. Scott Mayfield, God bless him, tried to get the troops riled up by fighting what can only be described as a giant in Elmer Soderblom. And Elmer Soderblom was throwing fist with the hand he was holding on to Scott Mayfield's jersey with. Credits Mayfield for trying to do something to get the fans back into the game and to get some blood flowing, but it didn't matter. They just beat the absolute tar out of the Islanders tonight, and from a even taking away the playoff implications of this game, anytime you can go onto Long Island and beat the Islanders like this, I'm gonna feel good about it. But adding in the playoff implications, you're at 90 points now. It just feels like with a massive week here. You have Detroit tomorrow night. You have to go to Tampa, and then you have a weekend home back-to-back, a rare weekend home back-to-back with a bad Panthers team, which I didn't think we'd be. I did not think when I saw the schedule come out that when the Penguins were facing a weekend back-to-back in April with the Florida Panthers, I did not think that it would be a situation where the Penguins are inching closer to a playoff spot, and the Florida Panthers might be tanking for Gavin McKenna.
Jesus, if they get Gavin McKenna, I'll riot.
Yeah, that would feel almost unfair. But back to this game, like I mean, they just were relentless when they finally got their footing in this one. Shilovs finally was able to kind of just settle down and credit everyone. I mean, Erik Karlsson, their all-world freak who's carried them, had no points tonight. But Crosby's back in the lineup, gets 2. Mantha and Raquel have 2 goals. Russ gets in on the action. Elmer Soderblom gets I believe it's his second with the Penguins. The Penguins have no players minus tonight. Anthony Mantha is +4, Raquel +3. Just an absolute complete performance after going down 3-1 in this game.
Yeah, everyone chipped in, man, from top to bottom. And I almost got on the horn with you after I want to say it was maybe Shen's goal. But, you know, if the Penguins are going to come back in this game, you know, I was going to say, like, dude, they need some goals from, like, their top 6. They can't be, like, you know, the Acharis and you know, whoever, like, you know, the Soderbloms or the Connor Dewars, like, chipping in. They're going to need some, you know, we need to see something out of Sid, but not just Sid's line or whatever. Malkin's still out. We're going to need some top 6 scoring, but I did not see what happened tonight happening, to be honest. Like, I was hoping they'd make it, you know, they'd get back in the game and it'd be competitive, but everyone chipped in. That's exactly what happened. You had top 6 guys, you had the middle 6, you had the bottom 6, like everyone got on the score sheet. And, you know, Letang wasn't horrible tonight. Gerard was getting in the mix. Everyone was activated, and even when the chips were down, they were still it was a playoff game, man. Like, it's not over till that 60th minute. And even when they were up, they still kind of kept their foot on the gas and didn't let up. And, you know, Artur Shilovs, he had to make a pretty big save there to keep it from going to a crooked number, as they call it, going to 4 goals or whatever. So I like what I saw out of the team, man. And it's like, I think that this win, I'm not saying they're going to win the cup or anything like that, but what I am saying is I think you damaged the Islanders in that, you know, they're getting on a flight tonight and they got to go play, which, did you see yourself saying this, the best team in hockey this year, the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough, I mean,
they've got to chew on this game with their Vezina goaltender, get on a flight and go play Buffalo. The Penguins get to come back home and play the Red Wings, who they're no they're no lock to make the playoffs. They've been struggling.
Yeah,
you get them, and then so and the Penguins just hopped over the Islanders in the playoffs. This is we called it a must win for good reasons, but like now that they've gotten the win, it's like this could be a trickle down effect that I think could propel the Penguins and hopefully add a little bit of, you're kind of throwing the Islanders aren't stumbling by any means. I believe that their homestand isn't going as well as they'd hoped. I think they had like a 10-game homestand, and I think they went basically 500. So hopefully you're adding a little weight to the anvil that the Islanders have.
Yeah.
And it sinks them a bit, and the Penguins can take this and go, we can put up 8 on a Vezina goaltender. Let's just not dig ourselves a hole this time.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use, helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize, so you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
My day kicks off with a refreshing Celsius energy drink, then straight to the gym. Pre-K pickup, back home to meal prep. Time for my fire station shift. One more Celsius, gotta keep the lights on. When the 3-alarm hits, I'm ready. Celsius. Live, fit, go. Grab a cold, refreshing Celsius at your local retailer or locate now at Celsius.com.
Abercrombie's active brand, Your Personal Best, is built for every part of your workout routine. The YPB Neo Knit hoodies and sweatpants are soft, breathable, and moisture-wicking. Your perfect warm-up layers. And for leg day, or any lifting day, pair YPB Motion Tech shorts with their active tees and tanks. Level up your workout routine with all new Active by Abercrombie. Shop YPB in the app, online, and in stores.
And I'm sure going up against whether it be Talbot or Gibson in net, they're going to be looking down 200 feet the other end of the ice and saying, I think we got this.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Detroit's already in Pittsburgh and rested, but like this has to throw a nice little jump into their step heading into this week, because I mean, getting in a world where the Islanders lose tomorrow night in Buffalo and the Penguins win another game and they sweep this back to back, I mean, at that point, like everything is kind of, you're separating, you're getting some separation. Columbus has a tough week. Yeah, I mean, your schedule is very favorable basically after Thursday. So if you can go and grab 2 points again tomorrow night, you have 4 points in 2 nights to start this week. And then anything can happen in Tampa. You played Tampa very good this year. They played very good against Tampa. You just have to kind of, I mean, just play your game, man. Just all you have to do. Just go out there and do what you basically have been doing all season long. Just play your game. Again, you can't kill this team. This team will not die. And at 3-1 tonight, I felt bad. I felt like, man, this is going to be they're going to need every inch to get to the playoffs. And the way they came back against a team that, I mean, I hate when they play the Islanders. It feels like every time they play the Islanders, it's always in Long Island. Like, it feels like they never play a home game against the Islanders, too.
I hate that barn. I hate hearing the acoustics of that barn when the Islanders are doing well. It haunts me. I burned a Matthew Barzal t-shirt over a lost series. Don't forget that.
They're just such a deeply annoying hockey team. And to come back tonight and just lay the wood for the final 30 minutes of this game just felt liberating. And I hope that the team feels as good as I do, because if they would go tomorrow night and beat up on the Red Wings, that it just changes the whole dynamic of the final month of the season. You're just about there. I feel so good about tonight. I feel they got so much, like, that was even though the Islanders, they're right there with them, that just felt like such a bigger game than it actually was, even with all the playoff implications. Because listen, right now, that's still the team you're most likely to face in the first round. 7 games of that is probably going to put me in an early grave. But I mean, hey, you got the win. You came back and you kind of gave them the final time you'll play them in the regular season. You kind of gave them a lasting message of like, listen, we're not afraid of you. We're not afraid of that goaltender. You can give us your best shot, but we're going to hit right back, and we can put the puck past them. They're the only team. They've scored in 3 games against the Islanders this year. They scored 15 goals on Sorokin. If you score 5 goals a game against the Islanders, you're gonna beat them in a 7-game series.
Yeah, it's eerily similar to like the Penguins Rangers with the last time the Penguins were in the playoffs. Like the Penguins were able to get goals on Shesterkin, but ultimately it was, you know, we had Louis Domingue full off of broccoli and pork, and you know, we had Jari in net too, so with a broken foot. So it wasn't fortuitous, and you know, that was a dark series. We don't have to go into that, but you know, you think about it, like the Penguins can get goals on this guy. It's just a matter of they got to get there. And I wanted to bring this up too. Like, when it's not really like, it's definitely not Sid versus Ovi, but Schaefer and Kindle. I thought Kindle was the more noticeable player tonight.
Oh, Kindle was all over the ice tonight. Kindle played a fantastic hockey game. Doesn't get talked about enough, but Kindle was, he was fantastic. Very noticeable tonight. He's 18. And him and Matthew Schaefer are the 2 premier rookies of this draft class, and Kindle won the battle tonight against Schaefer. Can't always compare it forward to defenseman, but Kindle was much more noticeable than Schaefer was tonight, and all credit in the world to Kindle. He just keeps doing what he's been doing all season, and that is just grow and develop. And he does stuff that you can't teach, and that makes him so much more valuable than what people even see on the score sheet. But he was fantastic tonight. He had an assist tonight, 2 shots, was all over the ice, played about 15 minutes, even was on the penalty kill. But overall, fantastic game from Kindle again. Just, he completely living up to that 81 number that he's wearing in Pittsburgh. Just, fantastic game from Benny again. And he's not wearing down. It just, every time he's on the ice, he's noticeable. And it's shocking for an 18-year-old, but the kid's got it.
Is he closer to Kessel or Shatan?
I think he's a better passer than Kessel was. I think he skates a little bit better than Kessel did, at least laterally. Kessel was more of a straightforward skater. Again, it's so hard to tell when he's only 18 to make a full determination on that. I'd like to see his shot develop more, because I really think he can uncork it when he wants to. So if he can stick as a center long term, that makes the rebuild process, that makes it much more clear. I mean, when he was drafted, they said, okay, he's a center. We'll probably turn to wing once he gets developed in the NHL. But if he can figure out how to take a face-off and stays at center, he solves a lot of problems for the rebuild in years to come, as Crosby eventually does age out and retire.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a huge boost if he could develop as a centerman. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's actually quite unlike both of them in a lot of ways, Shatan and Kessel. He's not a pure goal scorer. He's a little bit more creative. He's, actually, like, out of anyone on the team, he kind of reminds me a little bit more of Sid. Like, he's just competitive, and he's got that like low center of gravity, and he can score, he can set guys up. I like him and Avery Hayes, man. I like the idea of that. It's just got to pan out more. They connected tonight on a greasy goal, but I like him, and I like the idea of him and Avery Hayes in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, him and Hayes definitely played very well together tonight. We'll see if it's just a one-off or if they can keep it going. But hopefully Hayes gets another shot here. It's going to be Interesting to see with Malkin kind of on the border of coming back and not coming back. So we'll see if Hayes gets another shot tomorrow night. But no, I mean, everybody played well tonight. Chris Letang had his first multi-point game since November tonight. 2 assists for Letang tonight. Played a very good game. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to say that anybody was bad tonight. Brazeau had 3 assists, was very noticeable. Probably played his best game since the Olympics, I'd say.
I've been wondering if Brazeau has been healthy, because he's kind of been in and out. I don't think he's been super healthy. He's not at his normal self, but he looked good tonight.
Yeah, Brazeau was good tonight. Mantha obviously has been all season just been one of their best players, and I think that with the cap space you have, I think you got to bring him back. I think you got to pay him.
Mantha?
Yeah. Even if it's a short-term 3-year deal, I think that you got to bring him back. I mean, he's going to be expensive, but you have the cap space and you have the window still. That Crosby's probably got 2 or 3 years left. I think that you just pay it up and let him go. I just think that he's just had the season, and he's just played such an important role that he's a guy you got to try to bring back.
Would you bring back Stuart Skinner?
Well, I don't think they're going to want to go into next season with 2 young goalies. The thing is, if Skinner does enough to get them to the playoffs, and let's say they even win a round, you're not going to give him like a Jari contract. And
no, I don't know if I'm ever giving another goaltender that's not named Murashov a contract that even looks like Jari's ever again in the history of Pittsburgh hockey.
The problem is there's going to be some GM out there that says, "Oh, they fixed him," and gives him a stupid contract. And at that point, you're just going to have to shake his hand, say thanks,
and good for him.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm never going to be mad because somebody got paid, as long as it's not my team paying them.
Sure.
At least for that position, like Mantha, if you overpay a guy for 2 years or 3 years and he scores 20 goals a year, so what? It helps extend that window a little bit. Goaltending, that's a little more premium, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be super interesting. What happens with Skinner? Because there's so many directions it could go. I mean, I thought they might trade with the deadline.
I mean, the way Dubas has been moving and shaking, I kind of thought there was a chance for that too, because he could have turned. I mean, someone desperate out there. Would you have been shocked if they got a first rounder for Skinner, like a team that felt like they were just a solid goaltending away from a deep run?
It makes you think. It makes you wonder, especially with a team like Vegas that straight up. I mean, they just straight up fired their coach because their goaltenders are bad. We all knew Aiden Hill was going to turn into a pumpkin again at some point. I mean, they literally let Logan Thompson walk for Aiden Hill. What a complete misjudging of that.
And they bring in Carter Hart.
Yeah, a complete misreading of that. But then I'm trying to like San Jose. I mean, the goaltending holding them back. No, nothing against our buddy,
our boy Ned,
but like that team is still like. That team again. It's Max Celebrini against the world, but you have to think there's a team out there that would have paid up. But again, Kyle Dubas wasn't going to just make a move to make a move, and I got to give him credit. Like he didn't do anything fancy at the deadline, and it seemingly has worked. Like Elmer Soderblom has been huge for them because. With Lazat out, like he's just kind of filled that role. He's
fit in pretty nice.
Yeah, he's fit in great.
I still think that we're like Lazat is the like you remember they called like Scuderi the piece.
Yeah, like, Lazat definitely fills that role.
Lazat is the piece.
Yeah, but I mean, they just keep winning, and.
They did.
I mean, we've kind of been waiting since like October. Like, is it for real? Is it for real? And now we're here, and they're on the doorstep of of the playoffs now. It's just a massive game. Another big one against Detroit, which can really, really set the stage for what could be a very massive week for this Penguins team in terms of really putting themselves in position to wrap this up here within the next week or so. If they can get one against Detroit, you're sitting then at 92 points with a back-to-back weekend against the a bad Panthers team. And really your schedule after Tampa Bay is not a super difficult schedule. So like you could really stack some points here this week. And you started off on the right foot with a win against the Islanders in a big, impressive fashion to really let a statement as we go along here. And now you put the pressure on the Islanders and the Blue Jackets as well.
Can we just like hope that this was the game that breaks the Islanders? You know how I've been saying it's like, dude, the shoe's got to drop. The Islanders aren't at this position because they're world beaters. Like, let's be honest, the Penguins have had their holes. There's a reason why they've been, well, you know, they've been in like second place in the Metro all year. But there's a reason why the Islanders are fighting for a wild card or a third place spot. And it's because they're not world beaters. Could this potentially be? Let's hope this is a game that kind of breaks them a little bit, like sinks them a bit, and the Penguins can get some separation. Hopefully they can get 2 points against Detroit. And, you know, we'll all be kind of, you know, quasi Buffalo Sabres fans coming up here soon, hoping that the Islanders lose again. And then it's, you know, the weekend in Florida. I don't have high hopes about beating a team like Tampa, but they're still, they can be got. They can get got. Yeah. And then Florida, they're pesky as hell. I don't know who's going to win that game because it's a coin flip for me, but looking at the standings, you'd think that the Penguins go in there and handle business. And I would believe that it's not in Florida's best interest to keep winning games if they want to get a high pick. And, you know, I don't even know if Florida's the type of team that's going to take that draft pick and use, they might like trade that pick to like bolster their team for another cup run next year.
They could, yeah, depending on where that pick lands. But yeah, this week, I mean, you have Montreal and Tampa is not a massive game in terms of the Penguins. Philly and Washington play each other tomorrow night.
Dude, Philly's hanging around.
Philly's hanging. I mean, Philly basically has to like win out. They have to like find a way to keep stacking wins. And
I just don't know if you get that done with Urson and whoever else they got in net.
But you have Carolina and Columbus tomorrow night, and you have Buffalo and the Islanders. So I mean. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of Penguins watching, a lot of scoreboard watching.
Isn't it an early game tomorrow too? Isn't it like a 3:30 game?
Who?
Penguins?
No, it's 7:00. It's on a Tuesday.
My TV said it was 3:30. Well, 3:30 my time.
Oh, I mean that's probably when the coverage starts. The game starts at 7:00.
So it never, whenever there's coverage, like it never says. It always says 4. Like,
oh no!
But I saw that on maybe that's like the coverage. I don't know. Maybe it's like they're doing a pregame thing for like setting up. Mine said 3:30, but good.
No, it's definitely a normal time game.
I don't want to have to leave work even earlier tomorrow to catch this game, but I will be leaving work early again.
Yeah, no, it's a normal start time.
Good. I like it. Yep. Just like that. I don't like these early games like they have on the weekends, man.
Yeah, but that's about all I got.
I got one question for you. So out there in Pittsburgh, you guys, like out here in Washington, but I would say specifically, Washington, the Northwest, we have a beer called Rainier. And it's, you know, got a picture of the mountain out here. It's like synonymous. That's our beer. What is Pittsburgh's beer?
Pittsburgh's beer.
Is it that Icy Light?
Icy Light is like the Pittsburgh beer. The Pennsylvania beer is more like Yuengling.
That's right. You guys have
But Yuengling. Like the Pittsburgh beer would be like Icy, Iron City is what it's called, yeah.
Iron City, Icy Light?
Yep.
So I think we should start doing this. After every game recap, we award a player with the Icy Light of like that night. They get an Icy Light. Who in tonight's game deserves a 6-pack of Icy Light, 16-ounce pints
Probably
it's freezing cold.
Probably Anthony Mantha.
Anthony Mantha. I'd go Mantha, or I was going to go Raquel for getting it, kickstarting that. And Raquel's not scoring 40 goals this year like he did last year. But, dude, he's kind of turning into just kind of a dirtbag player. Like, he's really hard on the forecheck. He's hard on pucks. He's chipping in on goal scoring wise. He was on the penalty kill tonight, which is not his forte. Anthony Mantha seems to, whenever you need back-to-back goals, he seems to show up for him. So maybe we'll split the 6-pack. They each get 3.
Yeah, that's fair. I go with that.
Have you ever had Icy Light?
Yeah.
Have you ever had like 6 of them?
I don't think at one time. No.
Okay. Is it good?
It's cheap beer. It's fine.
All right, fair.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have to find a way to get my hands on some of that. But
good luck. Yeah, good luck with that.
Not easy over here.
Yeah,
I have had Yinglings one time, and it was pretty delicious for just a lager.
Yeah,
isn't it like America's oldest beer?
Brewery, I think. Yeah,
brewery. Nice.
Yep.
All right, Robbie. Well, that's all I got.
All right. Yeah. So the Penguins' big 8-3 win against the Islanders. They pull into a solo second place in the Metropolitan Division and inch closer to a long-awaited playoff berth. But
I think we got 2 weeks now till playoffs start.
I think it's 2 weeks on like Saturday.
Okay.
I think it starts the 18th. I could be wrong on that, but I think it starts the 18th.
Oh boy, we are getting to the nitty-gritty here.
Yeah, getting down to the final. The Penguins have 8 games left. The Penguins have 8 games left on their schedule. One of those games is this will come out on Tuesday, so later tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, another team that is fighting for their playoff lives. That game will be in Pittsburgh. A back-to-back one for the Penguins here, but a big chance to really put a stranglehold on a playoff spot heading into these final 8 games here. So if Snail has nothing else, I have nothing else. We'll be back tomorrow night to recap that one against the Red Wings. So for Snail, I'm Robbie. We'll talk to you guys very soon.